Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the SU-8. It's the Tier 6 Soviet SPG located on eastbourne of Malinovka. This one's got 2 marks of excellence because it belongs to talon1958 of OLIMP, and it's his first submission for this week's Lion competition. At least as far as I know it is. Well, as you may know, Talon won last week's competition fair and square. Angelina wasn't able to get a good replay, mainly down to her teammates. She's not really having much fun getting them to shoot at the enemy that she's stunning. This is a 152mm BR2 howitzer capable of doing 550 alpha, 38mm of pen, 6.7 meters on the burst radius, and it can also do 6.5 to 11 seconds of stun. A tree went down, so somebody's in there, and he's put the shell in just to find out who it was. Now, as I say, normally I fire at the bush. First shot I make on Malinovka to try and wake up somebody who might be in the spotting bush. It looks like that was the guy who was on the other side of that bush when he fired in. And if so, then he probably did get some damage. No, he didn't, actually. Not that guy. You can see the SU-8 is missing hit points. So that's the guy who actually may have been damaged. Over on the other side of the battlefield, they've already lost their Hellcat. And we're now aiming at the Fury, which, as you know, is an easy 8. So M4A3 76 with a wet stowage. If I remember correctly, E8 was actually the designation for a vehicle that actually had the horizontal volume suspension system, which you can see there on the Fury. Of course, that tank, oh, well, he died to the KV-122, so I suspect he was just dirt with a 122mm round, and that was the end of his game. As many of you know, some people actually claim that the Fury tank is elsewhere. I've seen one museum in America who actually claimed that they've got the Easy tank, but in actual fact what they've got is an Easy 8, but not the Easy 8 that was actually used for the film. So although they are correct in that they do have an Easy 8 in their museum, it's not the one that was used during the filming. Of course, that one belongs to the Tank Museum, and the crew, the entire crew of the tank of the film, went round the Tank Museum with the museum curators to actually look at the various tanks. Of course, if you've actually seen the making of the film, you'll also know that they actually made a mock-up tank which was actually quite a lot bigger than the original tank, so it had more than enough room for the cameras to go into the gaps and film the men whilst they were operating inside it, because the actual Easy 8 isn't that big. It's very cramped as well, but most people don't know that unless they've actually been inside one. Well, we can see that Talon's managed to get some hit points on the enemy. He got a shot on the Leo, has got a shot on the SMD CC67, and we think he got around into the SU-8 The enemy seems to be occupying the top of the hill at the moment, but we're not getting a lot of damage on them. It's Chrysler C there, who's not really participating. And that makes me think that he's a wallet warrior, that he's actually bought the tank and he doesn't know how to use it. So that's why he's holding back. He's letting somebody else do the work, and he'll only participate when he's certain that the enemy has been worn down a little. Why do I say wallet warriors do that? Because I know that some warriors do it, but you see, some tankers are actually so capable with their tank that they know how to side scrape, how to not take damage, and when to exchange and when not to exchange. Talon is picking up damage on the enemy. Now, there's that SU-8 that he fired at earlier. Oh, and he's gone. He didn't get any damage from this side of the map, but if we show damage at the end of the game, then obviously he did hit him while he was in the bush. Well, the Chrysler is now getting involved, but he has lost some hit points. There he is. Now, he's not playing it very well. He's certainly not playing to that guy's advantages. Rounds out. Yeah, if he keeps playing the way he is, he's actually going to go out the game without getting much in the way of damage. I was actually one of the people who was vocal around about the time of the Foch argument, but I was actually on the other side of the fence. I was actually saying that Foch is worrying about and complaining about nothing, that you can actually penetrate Chrysler Ks and kill them. You just got to hit them in the right spot, usually in the sides. Okay, well, we've got a Hummel here who's decided to sit on this side of the map, and he does expire, but not to us, to an E25. I think Talon didn't dial in fully on that one. He normally takes his time to dial in, but I believe he saw the E25 moving, and he felt, well, I'll have to move now. If I don't, I'm not going to get anything. He fired, and of course, it never hit the target. There's only one enemy tank left. It's a Kampfpanzer 7 RH, and he's somewhere in the woods, we think. Very likely that the E25 will spot him, but not that he will be the one to get the kill. Yes, he spotted him. There he is. Rounds out. Oh, he moves into the shot. Oh, yes, he got some stun assist, but he didn't get the kill shot. That went to the Bursa. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the second-class tanker for talon1958 of OLIMP in the SU-8. He also got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 6, and he got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. His win rate wasn't that high, 1,486, which is good, but not special. And I think it's down to the fact that he wasn't getting a whole lot of damage on the enemy during that game, unfortunately. We did say during the game, we'd check on that SU-122. He did stun him, but he didn't actually hit him. So that shell he fired into the bushes right at the start didn't get any damage at all. So it must have been somebody else who shot at the SU-122 and put a shell into him. We go into the team score. We can see the highest damage in the game actually went to the Nemesis with 2,412. Second highest damage to the VK101P with 2,331. Third highest damage went to that E25. He got 2,053 hit points. So those are the only 3 players who managed to get over 2,000 hit points. The VK managed to steal wall the E25, the Pascucci's. And when it came to Talon, he actually got, as I said, the Confederate and 1,144 hit points of damage. But in actual fact, that means that there were 3 players on the enemy team who were above him and 4 on his own team, which puts him in 8th place overall on damage. When it came to kills, we can see the high scorer was the E25, 3 kills to him, 2 kills to the Nemesis, the ISU-152, the KV-122, and the T-3485M, who also got a Aslains medal. And we can see as well that the enemy team didn't get any players get any more than 1 kill. In fact, only 4 players actually got kills at all in that game. Talon didn't get any kills at all, but he did get damage, so he was trying to do as much as he could. When it came to base XP, we can see the big scorer was the VK101P with 1,044. Just beneath him, the E25, 1,015. Third place, the T-3485M with 958. And Talon picked up 793 in 5th place, just being beaten by that Nemesis who got the highest damage in the game. He fired 14 rounds, got 5 direct hits on the enemy, no penetrations, but 11 splash. Damage of 1,144, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damage 7 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, but he got 980 hit points of stun assist off 11 stuns, and that's the second class. I think if he just got a bit more stun assist, I think he probably would have ended up with getting the first class, maybe. on a premium count. He actually made 25,815 credits profit, and he also took away 4,759 experience points after completing a mission for 2,380. He says, pick your targets, slow them down. Well, he was slowing them down for his teammates, but to be honest, I think a lot of the shots that he was firing, he was shooting at enemy tanks that were moving about and plainly visible, instead of the ones which were sitting around the corner using side scraping, or that big Chrysler who was just sitting there doing nothing really throughout the entire battle. Might have actually encouraged him to get involved in the battle if he'd been hit more, but sadly he just sat there. He did earn 64 hit points, but that was just one shot after he repositioned himself head on to us. As I say, if you want to take out Chryslers, just hit them in the side and they just fall apart. And in fact, that's something which I said not only to Foch, but also to Jingles, because Jingles was complaining along with Foch about the Chryslers being impenetrable. And of course, I was just saying, no, just hit them in the sides. They go down like nobody's business, because the sides are fairly weak on the Chrysler. It's the front of the vehicle that really has no weak spots. So long as you keep hitting the sides, you are going to get pens. And if you've got HE, just keep plugging that HE into them until they eventually fall apart. Anyway, let's go to the, well, we went through the detail and we've seen the result, second class bruiser and a Confederate. What we actually do have as well is a replay from Angelina. As I said, she's been having a hard time trying to get the enemy to fire at her targets. So let's have a look at the only replay that she sent in so far. Angelina's starting the game on the north spawn of Malinovka. Same map, different starting point. And this time, Angelina's decided to use the Bat Châtillon 155-55, the Tier 9 French SPG. Game on. Oh, it's one of the two Artys with a turret that turns all the way round. Some of the Artys do have turrets which can turn, and that was really for convenience, so they could shoot at different targets without actually having to move the vehicle and do their survey all over again to make out exactly where they are. It's very handy that Arty players or Arty users nowadays, the real thing, actually have GPS to actually work out exactly precisely where they are, so they know how to aim at the enemy. In fact, the new Archer light artillery system devised by the Swedes, oh, that was a little early, is actually very good, because that they can plug in the coordinates to the target before they've even moved the vehicle, and so they move to the firing position wherever they want to go. They put down the legs to steady and brace the Arty against the ground, and then they just open fire, because the thing does all of the alterations, all the aiming, everything is done by the computer, and it knows precisely where they are and exactly where it's got to aim. And in fact, it's so accurate that that's why they are actually using the Archer system for counter battery. It's the one that's taking out the Russian artillery systems in the war at the moment. They don't have that many of them. They only have, I believe, 8 Archer systems, but and they were all provided by the Swiss, but I believe a number have actually been placed on order by Great Britain. Oh, somebody's there. Yep, the fence went down, so she fired the round in on the spot. Yes, a number of the Archer systems have actually been bought by Great Britain, but they haven't actually been provided to Great Britain. They've actually been sent straight, or are being sent straight to Ukraine. So Ukraine will be using them first just to test them out. Not just to test them out, but of course they will be fighting them first, and Britain will be getting a Korean system as well. So it's not just the Archer system we're getting, we're also getting the Korean artillery system. In fact, I believe that we're also picking up some vehicles from elsewhere. Of course, a lot of arms manufacturing and ordering going on at the moment. I do believe that Poland's getting involved as well. They're building a lot of new kit. In fact, I think it might be Poland who are actually building some of the kit that the Koreans have actually designed. Well, we're changing position and we're joining the 212A over on this side of the map. And it's very odd, this particular distribution. Why have they done it this way? Well, the enemy's definitely got the top of the hill, that's for sure. And they're probably going to make their way down the hill. We can see that it's a tier 10 game with tier 9 tanks in it. And yep, there comes the enemy. And Angelina's ready for them. She's just got to dial in ahead of them. Oh, unfortunately that one hit the rock face. It was within the rescue when she shot. But you notice how she's changing position again. And she's keeping the gun facing towards the enemy. So she's shooting behind herself. Mark the target. That's nice because it tells enemy who you're actually, or tells your teammates who you're aiming for. Rounds out the 8 phase 1. Direct hit. Now she did respond to that arrow being placed on the 8 phase 1 by her teammates. She'd indicated that she was going for the 277, but instead she decided to follow their cue on the off chance that they would actually try and get some damage. Now her teammates can't see the 60 TP. Gun comes round, it's styling in. Okay, he's pulled back, but he's hugging the rock. Rounds out. Comes in just behind him and stuns him. Oh, he did take some damage though. He repositioned himself, but he still got hit. Our team are doing well down in the south because they are moving into enemy territory. And meantime, Angelina can shoot a shell directly between that rock onto the 60 TP's roof. Meanwhile, the 277's making a quick dash. And he's stunned. Now, hopefully that'll give us a stun assist. It does! 761, that's good. So her teammates are shooting at the tanks that they need to be shooting at. Angelina changing position again. The enemy's 4 down at the moment, but notice their disposition. They're holding on to the east side of the map, but they're also pushing. They've got a T100 LT on the ramp, and there's another enemy tank there as well. Is that the 60 TP? Yes, it is. He moved up. Angelina's dialing in. This could be good. He's got stunned. Rounds out. Takes a direct hit for 31. So the 212A is going to be happy with that because he got a bit of stun assist there. It wasn't a lot though. Angelina's keeping as far from the enemy as she can under the circumstances. That's the right thing to do. And there goes that 60 TP. Okay, we're looking round for those targets. T54 E1. Okay, we can do this guy. Lines up the shot ahead of his path. Rounds out. Looks good. Oh! Why did the shell go to the original aim point? And she changed the aim just after he stopped. That was odd. I must admit that's happened to me a few times. So I've aimed for a specific spot, changed my aim because the enemy changed, and although the rescuer changed the position, the shell went to the original aims point. Well, that 277 is taking a bit of a battering. We're lined up, ahead of path, good shots. Now, rounds out. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough lead. I say, he's being chased off the hill now. The whole force of our guys coming up the hill rapidly. The surprising thing is that there's still a huge number of the enemy team out there. We've only killed 6. There's 9 of them still out there. Okay, there's the Bosch. He's gone. The T100 LT is no longer on that ramp, so he must have moved. Okay, we've got a TVP T5051. We're loaded. Rounds out. Looks good. Only stuns. Now that's puzzled me as well. It looks like the shell must have gone beyond him and exploded behind. But we are getting stun assists, so that counts. Okay, lead the target. That's it. Work out where he's going. He's stopped. He's been tracked. Rounds out. Oh, that so would have been a kill for Angelina, but for the fact her teammate got there before she did. Oh, dear. Still 7 enemies to go. One of the Arty, the 212A. That's an explosive one, that one. Somebody ammo-racked him. T54E1. Rounds out. Could be a kill. It is! Now, it's difficult climbing up that bank. Not worth trying because, of course, it's deep water just beyond it. See, a few people have come a cropper trying to climb up that ramp, slid off into the water and died as a result. Oh my god, they've all just fell like 9 pins there. And there's only one left. It's the T100. He's diving for the water. Go for it. Rounds out. Well, it did stun him. If he dies now, I think Angelina might be credited. No, somebody else is getting it. I think, yes. The 212A got the credit. Here's the end of battle results for Angelina's game, and Angelina managed to get a second-class tanker out of that game. I think mostly down to the stun assist she managed to get. And also, she got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. She got 5 exactly, but her win rate was very, very small. In fact, it was poor. It was only 366. So sadly, she really didn't get a huge amount of damage. And in fact, as she says here, RNG, can't we be friends? Yes, I think the RNG was really letting Angelina down, because even after she changed the aim to the new spot where the target was, it still sent the shell to the old aim point. Oh dear, what are they doing? Okay, well, let's have a look at team score and see where Angelina is. Well, it doesn't look very good, does it? Unfortunately, the highest damage in the game was the 121B, who got a steel wall and Confederate for 3,505. Second highest damage was the Hori 3 with 3,227. Third highest was the Hori 1 with 3,146. Angelina only got 409. Yeah, that's why it's only a red score, or a tomato score, as we might call it. Yes, the next on kills. Well, Angelina did get a kill in the game, but the high scorers were the 212A, who got the last kill of the game. He got 3 kills in the game. 2 kills went to the Hori 3, the E75, the FP4005, the Panzerkampfwagen 7, and Angelina's joint third with the others, but there was only 2 players on the enemy team who actually managed to get kills in that game, and yes, they only got a kill apiece. And when it came to base XP, Angelina's a little higher near the top, because the top scorer was the Manticore, 1,186, and he got a patrol duty. 1,043 went to the 212A, he was doing well, and 965 went to the 121B, who got the highest damage. And Angelina is in 4th place with 847, so she did do well when it came to base XP, because the teammates were shooting the enemy tanks that she was stunning. 15 shots fired, 3 direct hits on the enemy, none of them penetrated, but she did get 9 splash. Damage of 409, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damage 6 of the enemy, kill 1. So unfortunately, she missed out on getting a Confederate. 2,540 hit points of stun assist off 7 stuns. And that gave her the second class tanker. On a free-to-play account, she made a profit of 4,975 credits. And she also took away 1,694 experience points out of it as well. But sadly, I'm afraid that's not a huge amount. If we look at the personal score again, we can see a second class and a bruiser. And if we compare that with talons, second class bruiser and Confederate. So Talent is definitely in the lead with that score at the moment. And Angelina's going to have to get a second class, a bruiser, and 2 medals, or a first class, a bruiser, and, well, first class will do fine. And then obviously she's a much better chance of winning the Weekend Lion. So we'll have to wait and see the next couple of days if Angelina can find a really good game that she can send in. She's still having trouble, as I say, not getting great teams. In fact, it looks to me like Angelina had the sort of team that produced those sort of results instead of the results that she actually got in that game. So if Angelina had been on a team like this, she might have actually, with those sort of scores, she might have still scored a second class, but she might have got a medal out of it because she'd be their top scorer. But sadly, on this occasion, it didn't work out. So I hope you enjoyed both of those replays. This one with Talent in, and of course, Angelina's game, which should have been the one that I was showing you, that this is more like Angelina, the battle she was in. If you enjoyed these replays, please give this a video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.